With what is likely a Pierre-Luc Dubois trade imminent, there are some big risks that come along for the LA Kings with this, and that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. Me and Noah have a few things that we want to talk about regarding this trade that, I gotta say, I'm not a big fan of this trade for the LA Kings. Going to be going over what we think about it and the major risks that come with this trade as well. We're going to be going over it just right here. The risks in trading for Pierre-Luc Dubois. And now, I gotta say, there is a few. The rumor came out the other day that it will be going to the LA Kings, Pierre-Luc Dubois, for multiple players and pieces will be going to Winnipeg if this gets done, including Gabe Vilardi and Alex Iafallo, with an extension for PLD would be expected. Now, that is the part that scares me, I have to say, that extension, as well as what the LA Kings could give up in this trade, because you know how much Pierre-Luc Dubois wants. He wants upward of $9 million, which I think he is nowhere near worth. Absolutely not. Not even close. I give him 6, maybe. If he's lucky with me, I'm giving him 6. And I also got to say, I just don't think it's the right fit for LA. So, Noah, just overall, what do you think about this rumor of the trade that just came out here yesterday?
I actually like the fit in LA. I mean, you know, they'll have a big-headed monster with Kopitar, Danault, and then Dubois. But, you know, I think a big factor is obviously the money. But I don't know. I like it, I got to say. But like I said, the money is the factor for me.
Yeah, and like you said about that fit, there's one thing that I don't think the fit is right. You said it's right. I don't think so. You know,
Okay.
they have Kopitar, who has not long left on his contract. They also have Philip Danault, 2 very good defensive centers who have been in the Selke nominations for probably 5 to 6 years. Their names have been in the top 10, probably even top 5 for those 6 years or however long they've been in it. But I don't think that Pierre-Luc Dubois would fit on that because, you know, he's not an outstanding offensive center. He's not that player that you rely on to get goals, to create scoring chances, to move that puck up and down the ice. He's kind of just a two-way forward, similar to what those guys are. So if you do get another one of those, you're having 3 defensive similar centers on one NHL roster, as well as Quinton Byfield, who you have. He's currently on the 3rd line here, and Blake Lizotte on the 4th. Quinton Byfield would probably be, you have to assume he would be on the 4th line in this trade, or if this trade did occur. And if you want to progress him, you can't keep playing him on the bottom 6. You have to eventually move him up, which you probably would assume if Kopitar did end up leaving, which I do not think he will next year. You have to be able to give Byfield that experience if you want to progress him. You also have guys like Alex Turcotte, Francisco Pinelli, Elias Anderson, all in the AHL. So if you already have a lot of center depth that is not even in the NHL, and trying to get another one who I think is extremely overrated. Extremely overrated for what people are giving him the price of. Going from 2 NHL teams, you can't stay on a team. I don't think it's a good idea, because you're going to have Pierre-Luc Dubois. I'd put him on the 3rd line in the LA Kings, you know. You know as good as I do, Philip Danault, with the Montreal Canadiens. He was fantastic in the playoffs when they went to the finals.
Absolutely love him.
And Kopitar is one of the best defensive forwards in the league, along with Patrice Bergeron. Those two have been pretty much fighting for Selke's for a decade plus. So I just don't think that fit is right. I think
going back to the money thing as well, you know, $9 million is I think that's what he roughly wanted. It was between, I think, like 8.7 and 9. I can't remember the exact numbers, but that's a lot of money to give a guy who puts up 60 points a season, right? Like it's his career high what he had this year. It was like 60 or 65, around that range. That is not a $9 million player. I'm sorry, and I know, and part of me thinks he could have been using that as almost leverage to get out of Winnipeg, but I'm very curious to see what the money is going to be in LA. You know, at max I think I give him an 8-year at $7.5 million.
Yeah, no, if he's lucky, he'd get that. You know, he has not spent a lot of time with the 2 teams he's been on. He's been on Columbus for a few years, Winnipeg for a few years, and he's requested for trades from both of those teams.
Yeah.
He's not been able to stay there, so if you offer him upwards of $9 million for, just say, 6 years plus, and he wants to leave in 2 years, good luck trading him with that money, because nobody's going to take him. Because I'm sure he's not going to be putting up 100 points anytime soon. Absolutely not. So I don't think that the money is going to be what he wants, unless it's with just Montreal. He's going to get less, because I think that's where he's going to want to go if he does end up going there. With talks have resumed. We'll be going over that a bit later, but the contract talks that did occur, Winnipeg allowed him to go speak with LA. That's where it all kind of originated from, the trade idea, as well as the extension that would come with it. But to do this extension, or to sign that extension, the LA Kings had to move someone to get rid of a bit of cap. That player was Sean Durzi. They sent him to Arizona for a 2nd-round pick. Now, I know this was not Sean Durzi's best season, but he was playing on his offhand for a lot of the season as well. But he's a solid defenseman, arguably one of the better ones on this team. You do have a lot of prospects as Brant Clark and Jordan Spence. You want to move them up eventually, so I do understand the trade. But I think that Sean Durzi could have gotten a lot more in a trade coming back to LA than a second-round pick. This kind of seemed like a little rush trade to get some cap to make this contract available because they're kind of near the ceiling. You know, LA got a high cap space or a high cap hit right now. They're pretty close. They need to make some room if they want to sign him. Because, you know, Pierre-Luc Dubois is going to want a lot. That's the way he rolls. But, yeah, it's not going to be... It's not an ideal trade to make to be able to get a player that is not worth what he wants. Because I think that this trade is just not going to result well. It's too big of a risk for the future of this franchise, the LA Kings. You know, they gave the Edmonton Oilers a tough little challenge in the playoffs this year, and that could go to waste. You've trading Gabe Vilardi and Alex Iafallo, two solid players, and getting someone who's around the same skill level. I don't think it's worth it. But no, what do you think about that? The trade, the extension going into the other players on the team getting out to make some more room for his cap.
Like in what terms? Like
what do you think about the Durzi trade making room for him for how much he's going to want?
It's stupid to move a guy like Durzi. I mean, you know, you got Brant Clark knocking on the door coming up, but Durzi's been. I thought he was really good this year. You know, and I don't know. I don't like that move.
No, I don't either. It's not ideal, I would say. But this came out as well today from Arpon Basu. Further to Pierre's report that here's that Dubois is leaning to the Kings. I'm told the Canadians are still open to finding a way to make this work. Should those talks go off the rails, a source close to Dubois said it's too soon to rule them out, as unlikely as it seems right now. Now, I don't know what to think about this. I think this just could be some leverage from Winnipeg trying to get him get more in return from the LA Kings to try to make a move go quicker. I think the Kings got to avoid this bait because I don't think that's anything. I know you and Nick, Montreal fans, you guys don't really like the idea of Pierre-Luc Dubois wanting $9 million. I think he would sign less if he were to go to Montreal, but the $9 million seems a bit too extreme for me in Montreal. Montreal don't really need him. He'd be a good player if he was $5 to $6 mil. You know, just that middle-aged NHL player. You know, like mid-20s, getting the experience for the younger guys as well, just filling a slot of what they need right now. But I think the LA Kings should go for more of an offensive center in free agency. There's plenty that you can take. You know, Ryan O'Reilly, that's one example. Got a good set of good pairing with offense and defense. Got a good mix of both. But you know, he's kind of just the same as Danault and Kopitar. So if you got Barbashev, that's one. You know, that may be a possibility. I think Vegas would want to re-sign him as well. But I think there's a lot better options of what you can get than Pierre-Luc Dubois for what you're going to give up for him and how much you're going to pay him in the long run. I think it's just not worth the risk of trading, you know, the Gabe Vilardi, Alex Iafallo. We've heard Quinton Byfield as well. Quinton Byfield may be in that trade, and whoever knows how many picks. It's just way risky. Too much to give up for a player that can't stay in one spot, who just seems lazy with the puck. I don't like the move. I don't know what LA should do to go around this. They can't do this Pierre-Luc Dubois deal. I don't like it. But Noah, what you got any final thoughts on this whole ordeal?
Yeah, you kind of swayed me a little bit. You know, I was talking about how I like the fit, but you know, like you said, the guys like Danault and Kopitar, they're kind of the defensive minded. You know, it doesn't make a lot of sense now that I think about it.
Yeah, like they do have great offense, like Kevin Fiala, guys like those. Byfield's good on offense. He's going to get even better when he gets more ice time, but they're so deep on center. If you want Byfield to get better on offense, you got to give him more playing time. You can't get a player like Pierre-Luc Dubois to take up his ice time. Because if you sign Pierre-Luc Dubois to a big deal, put him on the fourth line, that's an absolute waste of the money. If you move Byfield, that's a waste of talent for you're getting nothing in return because Pierre-Luc Dubois is not good. But I know, it's just, they don't need another defensive forward.
You said it perfect. It's too risky.
It is. There's just too much of a risk. There's too much risk with little reward. It could work out in the long run, I guess, if they do manage to make it. If they do change him, sway his play style to make him more aggressive, but I don't think it'll be as easy as what I just said it's going to be like. So, yeah, it's too much of a risk. That's all I'm going to say for that. Leave it at what it is until the trade actually does occur. If a trade does occur, we will be making a video on it. But that's all we got for this video. Noah, any final thoughts before we end this one off here?
I'm just blown away that you swayed my decision.
I'm telling you, it's not a good idea. I'm firm on it. I don't like Pierre-Luc Dubois, so I mean it might be a bit biased, But I just don't think he's the right fit for the LA Kings in specific, because just the points I said, too much defense, not enough offense, not even enough defense on him. He's just kind of bad. But that's all we got for this video. If you like it, make sure to give it a like, and also make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this as well, leading up to the draft, free agency, and everything off in the off season. Hope you liked the video. If you did, give it a like, come back, watch another video, and yeah, thank you for watching.